what's happening, guys. Hopefully this camera doesn't stop recording. I forgot to turn off my Wi-Fi, which is a persistent problem when it's trying to find wireless internet and then it pops up that big window that seems to stop the recording. It's really annoying. I'm sure I'll hear it when it goes offline. But anyway, so some good news. I mean, I've uploaded some videos and there was 2 of them that I thought that I had made public, which I didn't. And a lot of times what I do is I schedule them. If I upload a bunch at once, then I'll schedule them. And when I was uploading my videos, which I usually, like normal, I usually fill in all the information and get all that squared away, and I just kept them as private. This coat's falling apart. Kept them as private, and didn't even realize it. I've been really busy with a lot of things, so I just didn't bother checking. And that sounded like shit. And so I just, it was one of my subscribers was asking me if I was going to get any videos, and I said, oh yeah, look, oh that's right, shoot. So it happens from time to time. But anyway, so I got some videos up. I've got one scheduled for later today. I put a couple up today. And so anyways, I'm still getting asked about my dad. He's home. He just got home last Friday, so about 3-4 days ago. And he's happy. He's much happier than he was when he was sitting at the hospital. And I do everything I could to get out to the hospital, but I tell you what, it's tough. And when you're working, it's tough. And you try to do everything for your family, but your own life still goes on. So I did the best that I could. Hell, man, this road's messed up. Don't even think about that. An asshole. Anyways, nice little U-turn there. Still recording, yes. So, I'm actually heading to a doctor's appointment, and then I'm going to be heading out to my dad's to help him with some stuff. Got to get his computer set up. He's going to be getting rid of his truck, so he's got a nice stereo in his truck, really nice, and subwoofers, things like that. I don't know if he's going to transfer them over to his Jeep, but they have a Grand Cherokee, really nice Grand Cherokee. It's got a Hemi, which is, nothing really that special, but it's got some pickup for as heavy as it is. I don't know if he's going to transfer that over or try to sell the radio. I actually, for a little bit, thought about buying it, but the thing is I'm looking for, and hopefully going to be getting, an Android head unit for my car. The only problem is a lot of the head units, how did this get messed up? A lot of the head units that are Android head units, the double DIN ones, the 2 DINs, I've been reading a lot of complaints that they don't fit without modification. That a lot of these Asian companies like Pumpkin or whatever that put these radios out, they are not for American double DIN standards. It's like 7 by 4 inches or something. They're bigger, so you have to modify the. So I'm trying to get through all that and figure that out, because I don't want to buy something and then have to drill the crap out of my dash or whatever just to get it to work. So I'm looking for like a $200 to $300 range Android head unit. And the main reason is because I want to be able to run torque on it. I want to be able to have all my gauges right here. Granted, I'm not going to be looking down all the time, because it's a ways down to look. But I just like the idea of having my torque app set up with all the vitals of my car and running that. Plus, it'll be able to sync up with my phone, so I can Google Play Music and things like that. With Sprint, I don't have to worry about data, so it can continuously play music and so on without any issues. Let's see if this asshole stops. They got to yield to me. But so that's kind of where that's at right now. I'm just trying to get the right head unit and then get the adapter for it, of course. Make sure it fits. This road is bad too. But I tell you what, I get comments from people who watch my videos in other countries, and they continuously make comments about how bad our roads are, just how crappy they are. And that is a combination of weather and bureaucracy. Basically, we pay taxes on what is supposed to be road care, and instead those taxes go to other places like, vacation funds for politicians and parties and things like that. I mean, it's really amazing that as a society that we pay taxes on a regular basis, yet we don't know where those tax dollars actually go. And even if, like our governor just signed this gas tax thing saying that 800 million or whatever, I don't know the exact number, but $800 million or something would go to the roads. How do we know that that would go just for the roads? How do we know that it's not going to go to the party members, this, that, I mean, we just don't know. That's the thing. It's not like we sit down as a society and audit our own state or government saying, okay, you got $800 million to spend on the roads. Fuck. What happened? And, torch steer there. It's weird. And so, really, when you think about it, we allot so much money based on what our politicians say it's going to cost to do this, that, or the other thing, and we don't really know where that money's going to go. I mean, we have faith that they're going to spend it like they should, but like this road here, this is horrible. I mean, you just, I don't know. It's with everything, not just roads. It's with everything. Our tax dollars are supposed to fund public utilities and public access roads. I mean, when we pay our titles to drive these cars, a portion of that is supposed to go to the roads. When we buy gas at the pump, a portion of each dollar that we spend is supposed to go to the roads. But how do we know that it's actually being spent as it's supposed to be? I mean, we hear about it all the time. I hate getting into politics, I'm really sorry, I'll end it here pretty quick. But we hear about it all the time where our federal government is borrowing from this account and that account and moving money here and shifting money there. And you think to yourself, well, if they're able to do that kind of stuff, what's to keep our own government from saying, you know what, that $800 million is supposed to go to roads? Well, I guess it's going to go to the Flint water crisis instead. I mean, you got to sit down and think about it, how we as a people who are actually doing and paying the taxes, we as a people have very little say in auditing our own government and where does the money go and make sure that every dime goes where it's supposed to go and things like that. I mean, once the check is wrote, then that's it. Then, you're done. Oh, and by the way, that new fire station, I didn't take that way like I used to do because actually right around this time they're doing a big yellow tape. What do they call that? Or the grand opening, whatever they call that. Anyway, cutting the ribbon, something like that. That's at 1 o'clock. So they got a bunch of police and fire, and I just saw a bunch of fire people go by. Gonna be a big ceremony, so they're gonna have that kind of closed down a little bit. So that's why I decided to leave. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Shoot, I'm getting so off track here. My mind is going in 100 different places. But anyway, so we really just don't know where our money goes, sadly. And when you go to ask, it's like, this big fund here, $30 million. This big thing here, $80 million. Well, how do we know that $30 million actually went to the cost of the materials for the road? How do we know it didn't, $5 million of it didn't get diverted into somebody's pocket? We just don't know. We just say, write it as this, and then that's it. I mean, it just seems like to me that as much as the IRS and the government, state, local, federal, they audit us to hell and back, but we can't audit them to hell and back because you just have to trust your government, whatever. Anyway, you can tell that I'm pretty anti-government. I just don't trust our federal government because the people that we have elected, unfortunately, have been seduced into shit. So anyway, another side note, really ashamed if Michigan State University, and I want to go on record saying this, Michigan State University is debating now, or at least the head chief chairman, whoever's on top, is debating whether or not to sell off the WKAR portion of the public radio and public television that Michigan State actually mostly funds. And it kind of really bothers me because it's not like it's a private TV channel you got to pay for it. If it was a privatized channel, then I can understand, they want to cut costs or whatever. That's fine. Do whatever they want. But we're talking about a publicly funded through grants, through donations, and a lot of it through Michigan State University. We're talking about a publicly funded, publicly available, mostly educational, I would say 99% of it's educational content. They want to take it offline because they don't want the expenditure anymore. It's like the university is sitting on so much cash and so many, I don't know what the word is for it, but anyway, they're raising tuition on a regular basis just like every other school. And they have a lot of money on hand, a lot of cash. And yet they want to do something like this don't know, that really bothers me. And you know, if you want to stand off in the crowd and say, hey, you know what, Michigan State University, this is the school you want to go to because we fund public broadcasting, and our money goes to a good educational cause, not just, well, we got to make $1, so if we're not making enough of those dollars, then we're just going to shut it down. So, you know, they've got a great sports program and things like that, but as of now, it's like, why? So anyway, all right, I'm almost to the doctor's, so then I got to head to my dad's afterwards. I'll get some video footage of that. Finally getting out to my dad's house. So I will definitely, warm in here, I'll definitely catch you guys later. So take care.